That's what that's about. It's about what is it in my own consciousness, my own way of thinking, my own way of understanding, my own way of doing that I've got to deal with. What is, that's coming up for me, that's for me to work with. And in the process of that is to find in the midst of me and in the midst of that situation the power and the presence of God. That's what Christmas is all about. It's about being willing to take a risk, to start out in Advent with faith. And faith is that willingness to believe in the character of God, even though I don't always understand God's ways, Because, if I was God, I would make the road really straight, and congratulations, you've arrived, But that's not how it is. It's much deeper, it's much richer, it's much better than that. It's welcome, I love you. That's the deal. That's what we're looking for. That's the point. That's where we're headed as we face these things that are within ourselves, these aspects of ways we think and do that tell us that God's not with us, that tell us we're all out here alone and it's all a mess, right? That's what we got to face up to. That's what we have to deal with. So Christmas is about the birth in our consciousness and the rebirth over and over again at ever deeper levels of that awareness of God's presence and that willingness and ability to live from that place. That's why Jesus came. That's who he is. Jesus is a human being who discovered something amazing. He discovered who he was. He discovered that he was God's son. The problem is that, as kind of things went on the last couple thousand years, some people thought he said he was the only son of God, and the rest of us, it was problematic, okay? But that's not, he never said that. His whole message, his whole life was about, this is so thrilling, this is so exciting. I am the Son of God, and you are the son, you are the daughter, you are the expression of God. That's the gospel. That's the good news. And what it means is that we are never without, we are never bereft, we are never just left to climb those mountains alone or to face them or to give up or to throw in the towel. That's not it. Jesus was revolutionary, not because he led some great political movement. No, quite the opposite. When people tried to get him to do it, he was like, just stop. You didn't get it. That's not who I am. That's not what this is about. He was revolutionary because he knew who he was. He knew that he and all of humanity were expressions of God. And he dared to live from that place of nonviolence. He dared to live from that place of non-resistance. He dared to live from that place of love. Every single time, you go back and you read those stories in the gospel about him and what he did and what he said and everything, how he acted, he always made the choice for love. He always made the choice for the greater good. He always made the choice for knowing that God is source. And that's what he was teaching. When there were 5,000 people sitting out in the desert that had been listening to him all day and were hungry, what did he tell the disciples? He said, what? Feed them. And they were like, well, that's not going to work, Jesus. You don't get it. He said, watch this. And he opened his consciousness to heaven. He opened his consciousness to source, and everybody was fed, and there was enough left over.